The sniper chief's smirk said it all. Only SEALs shoot that clean, sweetheart. But when the quiet janitor stepped up to the firing line, her first shot was perfect center. Her second shot was impossible precision, and her final round shattered every record on the Navy SEAL training range, leaving the chief frozen in disbelief, and every elite operator questioning everything they thought they knew about skill. But Sarah wasn't just any janitor. Before cleaning Navy SEAL training facilities at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, she had been Staff Sergeant Sarah Mitchell, one of the most classified snipers in Marine Corps history. What the SEALs didn't know was that the woman quietly mopping their floors had more confirmed kills than their entire unit combined, and skills developed in classified operations across Afghanistan and Iraq that didn't officially exist on any military record. The chief's mockery was about to become a lesson in humility that would change how every SEAL on the base understood the meaning of precision shooting. From which city around the world are you watching today? If this story amazes you, please subscribe to Rising Life Stories and let us know in the comments where you're listening from. Every morning at 0500 hours, Sarah Mitchell arrived at Naval Amphibious Base Coronado with a janitor's cart, a quiet demeanor, and a past that no one on the SEAL training facility would ever suspect. For 8 months, she had cleaned the floors, emptied the trash, and maintained the buildings where America's most elite warriors honed their skills, all while remaining completely invisible to the operators who passed her daily. Chief Petty Officer Marcus Thompson ran the sniper training program with the confidence of someone who had seen the best shooters in the world. With 15 years of SEAL operations and over 40 confirmed kills in combat, Thompson believed he understood the limits of human marksmanship and exactly what separated elite operators from everyone else. "Listen up, people," Thompson announced to his class of SEAL candidates during morning instruction. "Precision shooting isn't just about hitting targets. It's about hitting them under conditions that would break civilian shooters. What we do here represents the pinnacle of military marksmanship." Sarah continued her cleaning routine, moving quietly through the training facility while Thompson's voice carried across the range. She had heard similar declarations countless times over the past months, understanding that the SEALs had no reason to suspect that their janitor possessed capabilities that exceeded their own. The morning training session focused on long-range precision shooting, with SEAL candidates attempting to achieve the kind of accuracy that Thompson demanded from operators who might need to eliminate targets at extreme distances under combat conditions. "Rodriguez, your grouping is sloppy," Thompson called out after examining one candidate's target. "At 800 yards, you need precision that would make a surgeon jealous. This isn't good enough for SEAL standards." Sarah had been observing the training from a distance, noting the techniques being taught and the standards being enforced. Her professional eye recognized that the instruction was competent, but limited by conventional military thinking that didn't account for the innovations she had developed during her classified operations. Petty Officer First Class David Rodriguez, one of Thompson's most promising candidates, had been struggling with long-range accuracy despite weeks of intensive training. His natural shooting ability was evident, but he hadn't yet developed the mental discipline and technical precision that elite marksmanship required. "Chief, I'm having trouble with wind compensation at these ranges," Rodriguez admitted after another session that failed to meet Thompson's standards. "The groupings keep shifting, despite following the procedures exactly." Thompson's response reflected his belief that SEAL training represented the ultimate in shooting instruction. "Rodriguez, the techniques we teach here have been perfected through decades of combat experience. If you're having trouble, the problem isn't the instruction, it's your execution." Sarah finished cleaning the area near the shooting stations, having observed Rodriguez's technique and understanding exactly what was causing his accuracy problems. The wind compensation methods being taught were adequate for standard conditions, but they didn't account for the subtle air current variations that affected bullet trajectory at extreme ranges. As Thompson prepared to dismiss the training session, Sarah made a decision that would reveal capabilities she had kept hidden for 8 months. Rather than remaining invisible, she would demonstrate why her classified operations had achieved results that exceeded anything in conventional military records. "Excuse me, Chief Thompson," Sarah said, approaching the group with the quiet confidence of someone who understood exactly what she was about to do. I couldn't help but notice that Petty Officer Rodriguez is having trouble with wind compensation. Would it be possible for me to make a suggestion? The reaction from Thompson and his SEAL candidates was immediate and predictable. The idea that a civilian janitor could provide insight into elite military marksmanship struck them as both presumptuous and ridiculous. "Ma'am," Thompson responded with barely concealed irritation, "this is a restricted training area for classified military instruction. I appreciate your interest, but SEAL marksmanship training requires expertise that takes years to develop." Sarah's response carried the calm authority of someone who had spent those years developing exactly the expertise that Thompson was describing. "Chief, I understand your position, but I believe I might be able to help Petty Officer Rodriguez with his wind reading technique." Thompson's reaction to Sarah's offer reflected both professional protocol and personal incredulity. The suggestion that a civilian maintenance worker could contribute to SEAL training challenged every assumption he held about military hierarchy and expertise. "Ma'am, with all due respect, SEAL sniper training represents the highest level of marksmanship instruction in the world. The techniques we use have been developed through combat experience and refined through years of operational success." Sarah understood Thompson's skepticism, but she also understood that the demonstration she was about to provide would challenge every preconception about civilian capabilities and military expertise. "Chief, I appreciate your position, but I've noticed that your wind compensation instruction doesn't account for thermal layering effects that become significant at ranges beyond 600 yards. Would you allow me to demonstrate what I mean?" The specificity of Sarah's observation caused Thompson to pause. Thermal layering was an advanced concept that most military snipers never encountered, and her casual reference to it suggested knowledge that went beyond civilian understanding. "Ma'am, thermal layering effects are classified instruction that requires security clearance to access. How are you familiar with advanced ballistic concepts?" Sarah's answer would begin to reveal the background that she had kept carefully hidden during her months of invisible service at the SEAL facility. "Chief, I have some experience with long-range shooting that might be relevant to your training program." Rodriguez, who had been struggling with the accuracy problems that Sarah had observed, spoke up with the desperation of someone who needed help regardless of its source. "Chief, if she thinks she can help with my wind reading, maybe we should listen." Thompson's decision to allow Sarah to continue reflected both curiosity about her claimed expertise and confidence that any civilian demonstration would validate his beliefs about the superiority of SEAL training. "All right, ma'am. If you think you can contribute to SEAL marksmanship training, I'll give you one shot to prove it. But understand that what we do here requires precision that civilian shooters can't match." Sarah approached the shooting station with movements that revealed familiarity with high-end military equipment. Her handling of Thompson's sniper rifle demonstrated technical knowledge that surprised the observing SEALs, but Thompson remained convinced that actual shooting would expose the limitations of civilian capabilities. "The target is at 800 yards, Thompson announced. "Wind speed is variable at 12 to 15 knots from the southwest. This is the same shot that Rodriguez has been struggling with all morning." Sarah settled into shooting position with efficiency that reflected extensive training, but Thompson and his candidates attributed her competence to civilian shooting experience rather than military background. They expected her attempt to demonstrate the difference between recreational marksmanship and combat-level precision. "Ma'am, take your time and do your best," Thompson said with condescending encouragement. 800-yard shots require techniques that take years to master." Sarah's first shot produced a result that created immediate silence on the range. The electronic scoring system registered a perfect center hit with precision that exceeded anything Thompson's candidates had achieved during months of training. "Jesus Christ," Rodriguez whispered, staring at the scoring display that showed accuracy beyond SEAL standards. "How did she make that shot?" Thompson examined the electronic readout with confusion that quickly transformed into professional concern. The precision Sarah had demonstrated wasn't just exceptional. It was beyond anything he had observed from civilian shooters and superior to most military marksmen. "Ma'am, that was Impressive shooting. But one shot could be luck. SEAL precision requires consistency that civilian training doesn't provide. Sarah's response reflected confidence built through years of achieving exactly the consistency that Thompson was demanding. "Chief, would you like me to demonstrate that consistency?" Thompson's challenge reflected his continued belief that civilian capabilities couldn't match military training, despite the evidence that Sarah's first shot had provided. "Ma'am, SEAL standards require maintaining that precision under pressure and through multiple engagements. One accurate shot doesn't demonstrate the consistency we demand." Sarah's second shot eliminated any possibility that her first result had been accidental. The bullet struck the target with precision that not only matched her previous accuracy but improved upon it, creating a grouping that would have been exceptional for Thompson's most experienced operators. "That's impossible," muttered one of the SEAL candidates, staring at the scoring display that showed Sarah's second shot had actually improved upon her first. "No civilian shooter maintains that kind of accuracy at 800 yards. Thompson found himself in the uncomfortable position of witnessing capabilities that challenged his fundamental beliefs about military superiority and marksmanship training. Sarah's demonstration was forcing him to reconsider assumptions that had guided his entire career. "Ma'am, those are exceptional shots, but SEAL operations require precision under conditions that recreational shooting doesn't prepare you for. Combat accuracy is completely different from range shooting." Sarah's response revealed knowledge that civilian training couldn't have provided. "Chief, are you referring to accuracy under suppressive fire or precision shooting while managing multiple target priorities?" The specificity of Sarah's question indicated familiarity with combat conditions that contradicted everything Thompson understood about civilian experience. Military terminology and tactical concepts weren't part of recreational shooting culture. "Ma'am, how are you familiar with combat shooting terminology? Those are operational concepts that require classified training to understand." Before Sarah could respond, Rodriguez spoke up with the enthusiasm of someone who was witnessing shooting that exceeded his aspirations. "Chief, could she demonstrate the wind compensation technique she mentioned? My accuracy problems might benefit from whatever method she's using." Thompson's agreement to continue the demonstration reflected both professional curiosity and growing suspicion about Sarah's background. "All right, ma'am. Show us this wind compensation technique that you think improves on SEAL instruction." Sarah's explanation of thermal layering effects and microclimate wind reading demonstrated expertise that military academies taught only to the most advanced students. Her description of techniques for reading air density variations and compensating for altitude-specific ballistic changes revealed knowledge that couldn't be acquired through civilian channels. "The key to long-range accuracy," Sarah explained while preparing for her third shot, "is understanding that wind effects aren't uniform throughout the bullet's flight path. Air density changes at different altitudes create compensation requirements that standard military instruction doesn't address." Thompson listened to Sarah's technical explanation with growing realization that he was hearing advanced concepts that exceeded his own training. The sophistication of her ballistic knowledge suggested military background that contradicted her civilian appearance. "Ma'am, where did you learn about altitude-specific air density compensation? That's advanced ballistic theory that requires specialized instruction." Sarah's third shot provided an answer that words couldn't convey. The bullet not only maintained the precision of her previous shots, but achieved accuracy that broke the range record for 800-yard shooting. The electronic scoring system registered precision that exceeded anything in the facility's database. "Holy shit," Rodriguez said, forgetting military protocol in his amazement. "She just broke every record on the range. How is that possible?" Thompson stared at the scoring display with an expression that reflected complete revision of his understanding. Sarah's demonstration had achieved results that challenged everything he believed about the relationship between civilian capabilities and military expertise. The silence that followed Sarah's record-breaking shot was broken by Thompson's reluctant admission that he was witnessing capabilities that exceeded SEAL standards. Ma'am, those shots represent precision that I've never observed from civilian shooters. Where did you develop this level of marksmanship? Sarah's answer would transform Thompson's understanding of who had been cleaning his training facility for the past 8 months. Chief, I'm former Staff Sergeant Sarah Mitchell, Marine Force Reconnaissance. I spent 6 years as a classified sniper in Afghanistan and Iraq before medical retirement. The revelation that Sarah was a decorated military veteran with more combat experience than most of Thompson's candidates created immediate transformation in the atmosphere of the training range. Her civilian appearance had concealed a background that exceeded the qualifications of most SEAL instructors. Ma'am, Staff Sergeant, I apologize for my assumptions, Thompson said, his professional demeanor reflecting both embarrassment and respect. Your service record and demonstrated capabilities clearly exceed anything I anticipated. Rodriguez approached Sarah with questions that reflected his understanding that he was speaking with someone whose expertise could advance his training beyond conventional limitations. Staff Sergeant, would you be willing to explain the wind compensation techniques you mentioned? My groupings could benefit from that instruction. Sarah's explanation of advanced marksmanship techniques provided insights that Thompson's SEAL candidates had never received through conventional training. Her methods, developed through classified operations, offered approaches to precision shooting that exceeded standard military instruction. The techniques I developed in theater, Sarah explained, address environmental factors that standard training doesn't cover. Combat conditions require adaptability that range instruction can't simulate. Thompson's request for Sarah to continue working with his candidates reflected professional recognition that her expertise provided training opportunities that couldn't be replicated through conventional channels. Staff Sergeant, would you consider providing consultation for our advanced marksmanship program? Sarah's agreement to share her knowledge transformed her from invisible janitor to respected instructor, demonstrating how military expertise could emerge from unexpected sources. Within weeks of Sarah's demonstration, the SEAL training facility had undergone a transformation that reflected the integration of her advanced techniques into their instruction curriculum. Thompson's program began incorporating methods that had been developed through classified operations, providing candidates with capabilities that exceeded traditional military training. Staff Sergeant Mitchell has revolutionized our approach to long-range precision, Thompson reported to his superiors. Her techniques have improved candidate accuracy by an average of 40% while reducing training time for advanced marksmanship qualification. Rodriguez, who had struggled with wind compensation before Sarah's intervention, became one of the program's most successful graduates. His improvement demonstrated how unconventional instruction could unlock capabilities that traditional methods had failed to develop. Ma'am, your instruction changed my entire approach to precision shooting, Rodriguez told Sarah during his graduation ceremony. The techniques you taught me have become the foundation for everything I do as a SEAL sniper. Sarah's transition from janitor to instructor reflected the military's recognition that expertise could emerge from unexpected sources and that preconceptions about capability often obscured valuable resources. The lesson here, Thompson explained to new SEAL candidates, is that skill and experience can't be judged by appearance or current position. Staff Sergeant Mitchell taught us that assumptions about capability can blind us to resources that exceed our own expertise. Sarah's story became a case study in recognizing talent regardless of its packaging, and understanding that military excellence could emerge from backgrounds that didn't fit traditional expectations. 6 months later, Staff Sergeant Sarah Mitchell was leading the most advanced sniper training program in the Navy, incorporating techniques that had been proven in classified operations to enhance SEAL capabilities beyond conventional limitations. Her accidental revelation had transformed both her career and the training of America's most elite operators. Thompson's initial mockery had been replaced by professional respect that acknowledged Sarah's superior expertise and the value of learning from experience that exceeded his own background. His willingness to admit error and embrace improvement demonstrated leadership that prioritized effectiveness over ego. The SEAL candidates who trained under Sarah's instruction achieved accuracy records that exceeded historical standards, proving that unconventional expertise could enhance even elite military training when prejudice was set aside in favor of performance. At Rising Life Stories, we believe that the greatest teachers often emerge from unexpected circumstances and that true expertise should be recognized regardless of its packaging or current circumstances. Where are you watching from today? If Sarah's story of hidden expertise and earned respect inspired you, please subscribe and share, because there are masters among us whose capabilities exceed our assumptions, waiting for the moment to demonstrate what experience and skill can accomplish.